Good day. As you can see, I'm out on a beautiful walk, and I don't have anybody with me today to have a conversation with. But I was thinking about something on my walk, and that is personal energy and how do we conserve our energy. And I know as women we wear many labels: mother, daughter, wife, partner, so much more. Um, and I think it becomes a little more challenging for women to manage and conserve their energy. And I don't want to use the cliche, because I think it's been used and abused enough over the years, about when your cup is empty, that you're not able to give to others. But there's real truth in that. And not being a mother, well, I have fur babies, but it doesn't count, I guess. I also see that obviously is a huge challenge in understanding how to conserve your energy in relation to wanting the best for your children and making sure that your children are thriving, etc. And how does that then impact personal energy? Being a wife, being a parent, it's got to be something huge. And because I haven't been through that, I obviously can't talk through that or to that. What I can talk to is being a cancer survivor and how important conserving my energy was in my cancer journey. And I think it's when you have those big moments. So, big moment being a parent, right? Could be new parent, could be kids or teenagers, whatever that is. And for me, it was the cancer journey. And so I got to realize very early in that journey that conserving my energy was almost like a life or death choice. And so conserving energy for me is about boundary management and putting boundaries in place, and then ensuring that not only do I have to respect my boundaries by standing for it, that then teaches everyone else as in to respect my boundaries. And so this conversation has been going on in my head. Is that similar to being a wife, being a parent, or being in a social circle where you are the one that's always giving much more than everyone else, and how does it impact your life? Now, when giving is something that comes naturally to you and it actually feeds your energy, nothing wrong with that. That's amazing, because it's a reciprocal thing. You're getting something that actually energizes you. And in my coaching career, that's what I used to get out of coaching. People used to say, doesn't that get heavy? I'm like, no, actually it energizes me. So if you have that going for you, then I say hold on to it, because whatever gives, it's reciprocal and it kind of helps with energizing you. That's fantastic. I'm talking about those areas where you can actually physically, emotionally feel the drain. And that comes with a price, right? Whether that is fatigue, whether that is emotionally you need to ground more, whether that is that physically you're just exhausted. Those are the things that I'm talking about. And again, in my cancer journey, I had made the decision that the medical practitioners and I are in a collaboration. They know what is best from a medical perspective because they studied it. whereas I am responsible for me, my being, as in how do I physically match my energy to meet the treatment. And that's when I became really serious about boundaries, putting them in place, respecting them, and making sure that nobody crosses it. And when they do, is to have those conversations with them. Because most people are not even aware. People live very singular for themselves, right? So we have to train them, we have to teach them that this boundary is extremely important, and by not respecting this boundary, this could have an impact in me in this, that, or the other way. And I became really good with that. That, as an example, one of my things is that I hike either on a Saturday or on a Sunday. And my friends now today, they'll check in with me. Which day are you hiking? Are you free on the next day? So that we can make plans. But it's about respecting that boundary, because before I would be a little bit flippant about that. If there's a good thing that somebody's inviting me to, I'd be, yeah, maybe I go to that. And no, I know what hiking means for me. I know it sustains me. I know it feeds my soul. I know it energizes me for the remainder of the week. I get my energy from it. So it's not negotiable. It stays. It stands. Whether somebody joins me or doesn't join me, that's beside the point. So I guess my invitation to you is to really look at areas in your life where it's draining, where it's taking too much energy to maintain, as well as relationships. I mean, definitely in the cancer journey, I had to let go of some people because it became pretty evident that it wasn't matching my energy. It was draining my energy. It wasn't uplifting to me. It was just depleting to me. And that's okay. It's not about making the other person wrong, but it's about the recognition of where you are and where your energy levels are at that point. It doesn't mean that the relationship can't necessarily continue at a certain stage. Maybe, maybe not. But that's beside the point. Is what do you need in this moment in order to ensure that you are increasing your personal energy levels, and which boundaries do you need to put in place to ensure that that can increase your personal energy so that you have more power to focus on the stuff that you really have to focus on, that you have energy to be able to complete those things that you really need to complete and want to complete, and not feeling this permanent drain. So that's my invitation to you this week, is really look at that. And then once you clear about those boundaries, is then to communicate those boundaries to whoever is going to be impacted by that, because they're not going to know what's going on in your head, right? You need to communicate that boundary. And then the very difficult part, which is the final part, is you need to respect that boundary first before anyone else can respect those boundaries that you had put in place. And that means you need to stand for it. The minute somebody crosses that boundary, you need to be able to have those difficult conversations and remind them why you put the boundary in place in the first place. So that's my invitation for you this week. And maybe if you feel moved, you can just in the comment section, you don't have to give the story. Just say where, in which areas, which aspects of your life do you think that you need more energies? Because just by acknowledging that, it kind of opens your mind up so that you can start thinking about putting those boundaries in place and what those boundaries are going to look like. So I wish you a fantastic week. Cheers.